Hello, welcome to the You Mae livestream podcast. Today, I want to talk to you about something I've been thinking about for a little while. And this may be a couple of parts to this message because I think it's a little bit more complex than just a single concept. But today, let's present the concept and let me know what you think about it. Put it in the comments, put it in the show notes, hit me up. Let me know what you think overall and if you think this is relatable to you or if it's something that uh, maybe has your mind ticking a little bit, right? So I feel like as an adult, I am discovering that I am holding on to these negative perceptions and ideologies about myself, about my own self-worth, about my ability to do things, about what's expected to me out of life. And that those are coming from narratives from my own childhood. So I believe that each and every one of us holds on to negative ideas, perceptions, reoccurring themes that happened to us when we were children, when we were growing up, that affect our lives today. And I think that that is potentially one of the biggest things that as a society we need to acknowledge, work through, but it's an individual thing, right? When you were a child, what were you bullied about? What did kids tease you about? What were things that kept coming up over and over again? And how did that affect you as a child? But more importantly, what I want you to consider is that other children, other immature, underdeveloped, unwise children were giving you these stories, these ideas, these negative images that are still affecting you today. You know, that's a really hard concept to grasp, and it's not something that is well known as much, and I think it's something that we really all need to think on. If you really think about it, right? I have perfectionism problems. I have self-confidence issues because I got made fun of by other children when they didn't know anything, right? They didn't know the world. They weren't wise. They didn't understand what they were saying. And yet I'm still living in this bubble of sorts, right? That other children put on me as a child. That's freaking crazy. My self-image, my self-talk is being affected from children when I was a child, when they were children, not actual adults. And I have this really strong belief that probably everybody, for the most part, has some sort of a thought, a negativity about themselves that is affecting them to this day that other children put upon them. That we're still holding on to as adults that we haven't processed. And that has got to change. So when you think about your own self-worth, when you think about the negative things that you tell yourself, whatever those stories may be, I want you to think back to your childhood and determine, were other children putting this on me? You know, or were other children doing that? And if that's the case, then I think it's time, and it's super important to spend time reflecting, journaling, working through, maybe talking to a therapist or just to some friends, and actively overcoming that. Because it's not fair to you to be living in this child world that you're trapped in simply because you've never taken the time to consider it. And when you're still living in that world, right? When you're still living under those notions, under those perceptions of yourself, you're projecting that out onto the world, and then you're getting more of it back, right? It's like the wow, Newton's law. I think it's Newton, and somebody correct me if I'm completely wrong. I'm drawing a blank. But every action has an equal and opposite reaction. So if I'm putting out positivity, positive image, positive, I'm going to get more positive back in my life. But if I am, negative about money, maybe, or about what I'm capable of doing, I'm going to see that reflected back onto me more and more. So take that time. Consider your childhood. Consider what other children were saying to you and process it. Understand it. Do the hard work. And it's not going to be a one and done, right? It's not going to be a light switch. You're not going to be able to just say, oh, and if you are, more power to you. But you're not going to be able to just say, oh my gosh, children were telling me I was, for me, Little Miss Perfect. And now I still try to live up to that to this day. Why? It's going to take a little effort, but as you acknowledge it and think it through, you will see it happen more and more. It's just like when you get a new car, right? And all of a sudden, you start seeing that car everywhere. You're like, there's that. There it is again. Oh my gosh, that's my car. Whereas before, you never really saw it, right? Or maybe you got a new job roofing, and now you see all the roofing billboards and all the roofing companies. The more you are mindful of something, the more you will see it in the real world. So just take that in. And I think we're going to expand upon this more and more, but I want to start with that premise of not allowing other children to dictate your adulthood and their perceptions on who you are and your own self-worth. It's a big, big deal that when you really sit down and think about it, journal about it, talk about it, consider it, you'll see that it's so silly. It's so silly to have that still affect you today. But it's okay, because we all are doing it. It happens to all of us in one way or another. Or maybe it was some negative images that your parents had from their own childhood, right? Which we're going to get into parents later on. I don't want to dive into that because we're already, talking for a little bit now. Maybe that'll be the next thing we bring up. But don't let other images from your childhood be affecting your adult life today. I am not perfect, and I am still struggling to get over that. I am still having to actively catch myself and stop myself from trying to be Little Miss Perfect, because it's an unrealistic thing. And frankly, it would be really boring if I was perfect all the time, wouldn't it? You know what I mean? Like, ugh. And what is perfect anyways? Doesn't make any sense. You are good enough to do anything you put your mind to, and you are worth it to take the time and to analyze your own life, your own childhood, however painful it may be, so that you can move forward and not allow those things to hold you back the rest of your life. Don't grow to be 40, 70, 80, 90, and still be holding on to this negative baggage from your childhood that is preventing you from living into your best self. You are worth more than that. I love you all. Thank you for listening. Thank you for watching. Please hit that subscribe button, hit the like, hit the comment. If you find this stuff useful, please share it out. Join the conversation, because, man, it is so important that we all can work through this to gain better mental clarity, a better emotional image about ourselves, and therefore a better world for all of us and for the generations to come. Have a beautiful day.